of Schick Pick 6. I'm Melanie Schickler. Joining me today is my co-host Kyle Leff. Lots to get to. Let's jump right into it. For pick number 6, we'll start with the Wisconsin Badgers, who are 6-0 to start the season. What do you think about that?
I think it's right there where they should be, Their defense looked amazing. They knocked off a big Michigan team a few weeks ago, and Jonathan Taylor, their running back, has looked like the Heisman candidate he always has shown he's been.
Their defense is incredibly persistent and constantly rushes the passer and breaks through the opponent's offensive line. Not only that, their secondary is reading the quarterback's eyes and getting into the lanes, creating interceptions and turnovers. They've only given up 29 total points the entire season, and those 29 points came in only 2 games. They've also shut out their opponents in 4 of their other games. Kyle, their defense is amazing, but their offense is pretty great too.
Their offense has been on fire this year. The lowest scoring game they've had was 24 against Northwestern. They put up 35 against the vaunted University of Michigan defense. They put up 61 in week 2, 49. Their offense is just clicking right now. Jack Cohen has got great targets in A.J. Taylor and Quintez Cephas. They're just rolling right now. Jack Ferguson is on fire at tight end. And obviously, Jonathan Taylor, the big man, the Heisman candidate, is just doing what he does best.
Wisconsin will face off against the Ohio State Buckeyes in Ohio next Saturday, the 26th. Who do you take for this one?
I'm taking Wisconsin. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to come into that game and have a big game. OSU hasn't really been able to stop the run the same way Wisconsin has. I think it's going to run through them.
Okay, I'm sticking with OSU. They're at home. I think they're going to use their fans to their advantage. Now let's talk about another team that's really been surprising people, and that's the 49ers in the NFL.
Yeah, the 49ers defense has been one of the best in the NFL this season especially. New additions Dee Ford and Quan Alexander have looked like great pickups this offseason, while rookie sensation Nick Bosa just looks like an absolute tank for this defense, getting sack after sack and pressuring hits, leading to interceptions by Richard Sherman, and obviously this great vaunted defense.
Jimmy Garoppolo looks very comfortable in the pocket, as you can see here. He's making a pass out wide that leads to a touchdown. And you know what? That's what the 49ers need to keep doing if they want to be undefeated and be a legitimate team.
They've got a good offense, but I think I wouldn't be shocked if they trade for someone like A.J. Green or Stephon Diggs in this winter break right now. I think they would need it right now.
The 49ers are 5-0, but do you think this team is a legitimate contender for the Super Bowl going forward?
I think they are. They beat down a Rams team in L.A. They look good. Their defense looks like one of the best in the NFL behind maybe the Patriots and Saints. Their offense has been rolling. I wouldn't be shocked if they trade for someone like A.J. Green or Stephon Diggs to help out Jimmy Garoppolo. And I think they have a really good shot at winning the division this year, especially if they can stop a Seahawks team with Russell Wilson playing MVP-style football.
Yeah, and that game is in 3 weeks on Monday night. They'll be home against the Seahawks on November 11th. Let's get to pick number 4, and that's the struggling New Jersey Devils. Not an easy thing to bring up.
I think you're going to have a lot to say about this one, especially being a Devils fan you are.
I definitely do have a lot to say about this one. Well, they're letting passes right into the circle. They're not blocking shots. Things are going straight from one circle to the other, and that's leading to clear goals. They only play Zaka, Coleman, and Zajac up front, and honestly, Coach John Hines needs to hold other players responsible, like Taylor Hall and Nico Hischier. And by doing that, they could even get shorthanded opportunities going the other way. This is really costly and one of the main reasons they're 0-4-2. Even here, the defensive play is sloppy. Kyle Palmieri just falls down in the defensive zone, and the Flyers score. And here again, they're letting passes right through, and Buffalo takes a 6-2 lead. Hopefully it gets better for the New Jersey Devils. For pick number 3, let's take a look at the Jets-Cowboys game from yesterday.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. That game was a shocker to everybody, especially myself.
Even though this ended in a close game, the Jets just didn't look like the 0-4 Jets. They were making great passes. Sam Darnold came back from mono. He was just throwing bullets. You could see on this one, he throws a pass to Anderson, and he goes for 92 yards for the touchdown. And honestly, when you look at this team, it doesn't even seem like they were 0-4 to begin with. They completely lit up Dallas's defense yesterday, just creating plays all over the field. Darnold looked very comfortable in the pocket after being out for so many weeks.
Yeah, and right now the Jets are trending in the right direction, and the Cowboys are not. The Cowboys have been 0-3 since their loss to the Saints in the Superdome. Dak doesn't look like he should get that contract. And right now their receivers are just not catching anything. They've had, I think, 7 drops in the last week, and it's just not looking good right now for the Cowboys. Zeke can't get it done, Dak can't get it done, and their defense can't get anything going either.
For pick number 2, let's take a look at the game between Georgia and South Carolina that ended in a 20-17 double overtime victory for the South Carolina Gamecocks. This one was a close game early on, and the lead kept going back and forth. I give a lot of that credit to South Carolina's quarterback Ryan Helinski, who looked more like a Heisman candidate than Georgia's Jake Fromm did, who threw a costly interception when the game was tied at 10, as you can see here in this next clip. Kyle, this one turned out to be a crazy double overtime victory for the Gamecocks.
And it did, but it did not come easy as the Gamecocks' Parker White missed what could have been the game-winning field goal in the first overtime. But alongside him, Blankenship for Georgia did not have a good game. He missed 2 field goals, including the one that could have saved his team in double overtime. And he's the man of consistency for Georgia. And his general act today summed up why the Bulldogs dropped 7 points to 10th in the rankings after their tough home loss to the Gamecocks.
And for pick number 1 on today's show, let's talk about the MLB playoffs. Let's first discuss the series between the Nationals and the Cardinals. And the Nationals have a 2-0 lead on the Cardinals. They head in back to Washington, and I'm sure they'll take it home there. I'm not surprised that the Cardinals have found themselves in a hole down 2 games in the series, especially after Scherzer's lights-out game Saturday night. Anibal Sanchez and Max Scherzer have each pitched 5 no-hit innings in consecutive games for the second time in postseason history. The first was actually the same pair, but for the Tigers back in 2013. Keep an eye out for Game 3 of this series tonight in Washington at 7:30. Now let's get to the bigger storyline in the postseason. That's the Yankees and Astros, who find themselves deadlocked at a game apiece in the ALCS.
I'm not surprised deadlocked at all. Both teams look the exact same, going back and forth, and it's so far been a really great series. In Game 1, Zach Greinke, Ryan Presley, and Bobby Abreu all got rocked by young sensation Gleyber Torres, who put up 5 RBIs against the pitching crew. But Justin Verlander was not having it, as he pitched a sensational 6 2/3 innings against the Yankees, with the only runs being let up the entire game for the Yankees and a 4th-inning bomb for Aaron Judge, 2-run shot. But the Astros had the last laugh, as in the bottom of the 11th inning, Carlos Correa, coming back from injury, hit a beautiful 1-run home run and sent the game out of here. Now they head back for Game 3 in New York on Tuesday, and I think whoever wins this series is going to win the whole thing.
We'll see what happens. Thanks so much for joining me today, Kyle, and to you guys for watching this special episode of Schick Pick 6.